Alright guys, I'm here at McCoy's. I'm gonna go in there and grab the supplies for the milk stands, and I'll be right back showing you load them up. Alright, I got the boards loaded as you can see back there. Now let's go home. Alright guys, I'm going to cut up all the pieces. I'm going to tell you what the measurements are once I have them laid out on the ground. They're going to also be measurements written in the description below. This video is going to be divided in like kind of two parts. The first part you guys are going to see right now is me building the actual stand, the platform for the goat, and then the second, which is going to be the second half of the video kind of, which is going to be building and the measurements and stuff for the actual head gate. So I will lay it all out here after I get it all cut up, go through it, kind of talk about it, and then I'll show you how I simply whip the thing together. So first off, here's the platform or the deck or the stand itself, and it's just a plywood board. The thicker as thick as you want it. Don't go less than half an inch. And I do it at a 4 foot, so it's 4 foot long by 2 foot wide board. So the sideboards are going to be 4 feet. All right, so they're going to go right here like that. Okay, and both of them being right there, you got to subtract for the end boards. You have to subtract the width. It's not just 2 foot. This was 4 foot. It's not 2 foot. To just subtract the width of these two sideboards. They're about half an inch or so, which gave me about a 1 foot, 9 inch, or 21 inch boards. Okay, 21 inch boards right here. I lost me roughly 3 inches. So these are 1.5 inch. That's 1.5 inch. That's 3 inches. So that's those two boards. For the feet, this solely depends on the size of goats you have and how tall you want it, okay? Because they can jump up pretty high. I chose 16 inches, all right? So 16 inch legs plus the 3/4 of an inch in the deck is gonna put this at a grand height of 16 3/4 of an inch tall. So the top of this will be just a little over 16 inches. Now let's keep putting it together. All right, here are my two end boards. These are 2x6s, and therefore I'm gonna use 3 screws, and they're gonna go in on the side like this, you'll see. All right, to avoid these things from splitting, I'll put 3 holes, half an inch out. Now to make it even easier on you, take all your screws and put them in, just a little bit, like this. All right, I put all my screws in. They're not all the way through, but let me tell you, when this guy's at an angle and you're trying to hold it all together and try to screw them in, that's impossible. And hold the screws, that's impossible. So, you get them all lined up like this, set them up, how they're supposed to be, just like this. So I'm gonna start on one board. You hold that board in place. Now, I did not put pilot holes going this way. When you put a pilot hole going in from the side, it tends to split. I personally have not found it splitting when you go straight in like this. It won't crack open the board. So, get that puppy lined up. This board's gonna be in the way. And screw them all in. And it died on me. All right, got it back. Now, let's screw them all in with the fresh battery. All right, now you've got these screwed together. Just pull up the plywood board. You just slide her up on top. Now, to get this guy perfectly lined up is a little difficult sometimes. If your boards, your box down below is not quite squared off, today, mine is not quite squared off. So how do you do that? How do you take care of that? Just work on one sideboard. And you're gonna just put in, for now, just put in 4 screws. So here's the corner. You're gonna go in a couple of it. Okay, let's do it where you can actually see a little better. We'll do it right here. Here's the corner. And I know this is lined up perfectly on this sideboard. So don't go right at the corner, go in. You don't wanna drill in and hit your screws on the side. So I'm gonna go in about an inch. I can see that's not gonna do anything. Put a screw in, now that you got it. These are just 1/4 inch screws. That'll be perfect. More than enough to fasten this guy on. It's a bit fast. All right, now, this is where you're gonna pivot off of. Ensure that this guy's lined up over here. Do the same thing. Now, it's not going to shift on this side, and as you can see, it is overhanging. Actually, overhanging over here, it's not lined up perfectly, but you have it lined up on this board, okay? All you need to do, get these over here, and just pull this guy in to where it's supposed to be. And I go ahead, once I get lined up, I'll sit on it, because my weight and that friction will hold it in place. I do double check, and it's still lined up. There we go. All right, there you go. Now we'll just do one more over here. All right, now it is lined up. What we're gonna do, I will get, really quickly, I'll get a pencil and my measuring tape, and just quickly give me the middle. Don't worry about getting it perfect. There you go, on both sides. So on either end, I'll put 1 more screw. And then going down here, I'll put 3 more, each at the foot mark. So, 1, 2, 3. It's just rough. These don't have to be perfect. Of course, if you're for perfection, making some kind of wood art, you might want to, this is a goat stand. Doesn't have to be that perfect. Now, and to put these legs on, it's pretty simple. Okay, don't get scared of it. And everybody's always worried about it not coming out. You know, it's not going to be flat. It's going to be all, you know, wobbly. I want you to look closely when I'm doing this, how I'm going to do it, okay? Let's get you a good shot. 2 5/8 screws right here. And we're going to put in 4. So here's 4. All right, to do that, I'm gonna drill 1 hole. So I keep right here, flat, flat, and flat. So holding it, tuck it in the corner, right in the middle. And put that screw in. This screw is important. Get it in. There you go. Now, the rest of these, pretty simple. You just you don't really have to worry because that screw that you've already put in is going to hold the board. Screw that you already put in is going to hold your board still. You could put a fifth screw up here. It doesn't need it. That's what I've always put in, and it's been more than enough. I'm going to put in the rest of them, and we're going to go to building the head gate. So I have not flipped it over, I promised you. So I have not tweaked it or anything. Let's see if it is balanced, if it's stable. It's not rocking. See? See what I mean? This is literally the best stand setup I have figured out. I'll give you all the measurements real quick of these boards. What we've got here is a 2x4, 4 foot long, but I took it and cut it down in half or so, which is about 1 3/4 of an inch wide, which is 4 foot long. Here's two 2x4s. And they were cut 16 inches long. Another 2x4 that was cut to be right about 1.5 inches. This is 2 feet long. These little wedges are a little bit thinner than what you have in this gap, okay? This little lip right here, this, whatever that is on your feeder, that's what this is gonna be, okay? Now I kind of went on a thinner side. I like it to be snug. Like this bucket, I like that bucket to be real snug. You can always unscrew it and shave a little bit off. Can't put wood back. I like it to sit up, not hang down. These pieces, they could be 4, 5, 6 inches long. Okay, it doesn't matter. I think these are like 5.5, almost 6 inches. Little over 5.5 inches. Okay. Once again, this is 2 feet long, and of course that's because of the width of your stand. So it's 2 feet long. Now the width of this depends on this gapping in here. Now to get a snug fit on this guy, okay, and I'm not holding that, so that I like that snug. That measurement came out to be 1 5/8 of an inch. 1 5/8 of an inch wide by 2 feet long. Okay? These are 2x4s. They are 36 inches long. Now we'll start putting this together and show you how to do that. All right, so for one milk stand, you need 4 washers, 2 nuts, and 2 bolts. All right, to drill those holes, here are the gates, head gates themselves. And what I do is here at the bottom, imagine it's a square. So this is about a little under 4 inches, 3.5. So think about a square right here, right in the center. You're gonna drill. For this particular bolt, you need to make sure it works, but for this bolt right here, my biggest drill bit, which is a 1/2 inch, works perfectly. So I'll try to line that up, get a perfect, it doesn't have to be, if there's a little mistake, that's fine. And we'll drill 2 holes in there, and then I'll show you how to drill, or where to drill on the actual. All right, we're gonna drill the holes to attach the gates. One of mine will be pivoting, we'll actually move, the other one is gonna be stationary. So for the one that pivots, my spacing needs to be 8 inches between these, where the holes are needs to be 8 inches. So here's the middle. I'm gonna go 3 inches over on one side. We'll make a little bit of a mark, and 5 inches over on the other side. Okay? And this one, here's the middle, the one on the 5 inches over is gonna be stationary. This one is gonna pivot. It has to come in because it'll pivot out further. It's gonna get blocked by the board going on the side right here, so it has to come in a little bit. It will still keep the heads, the goat head right kind of in the middle. It might be a little over. This is how I figured it out. It's done best this way. So now we just get to drill holes. Put the bolt and nut that goes through a piece of wood. Take it through the stand. Take a washer. And take the nut. Okay, and these are locking nuts, and that can just go to the side. It's okay. And so you're not gonna be able to tighten them up that much. That's where they're gonna go. So these are gonna be up here. They're gonna hold that goat's head. Okay. Okay. So I drilled the hole, holding this up here, lining it up. This hole I drilled, there's 3 screws like you saw earlier. Went in here, I do it on in between them to get that hole drilled, okay? And for this one, we're gonna use a fairly long screw. 2.5 inch screws, 3 inch, 4 inch screws, whatever. This 2.5 is gonna work perfectly. What we do is we take this piece, we put it up first. There's one screw that goes in here, okay? One screw right now. Actually, there's 2 screws that go in to hold this thing. And it's on either end. Now this part, I said gets tricky because you're starting to screw where the screw heads are. So you're gonna start putting in screws, and you gotta watch where these screw heads are. We're just gonna go ahead and put in a screw to hold this side. Okay, now I can come down and start putting in that screw. Now get it through just enough where just to stick out on the other side. Now grab this board, line it up. Pretty easy to line up. You feel it just clicks right into that place. Just go a little bit more. I could have used a longer screw, which I'm gonna switch to right away. Here on the side, which these are pretty, I mean, that's pretty tight in there. On the side, I'm gonna drill diagonal, put a shorter screw in there. Just gonna kind of go downwards. So what you do is you go straight in, then you start angling it up. That finishes the front. Now we walk around the back like this, and this part's really easy. Make sure you guys are lined up right. Doing this whole time, we just go ahead and put this down with these short screws. Just use 2 screws. but this guy stays stationary, and I use one screw to keep this guy in place. So that looks pretty straight to me, okay? Got a simple hook and an eye, literally just hooks it in like this. This is what I found to be the best way to hold these gates closed. So to do this, my stationary one always gets the eye for me. All right, that concludes making a milk stand. All the cut lists, the sizes and stuff will be in the description. And thank you for watching. Adios.